Well, Victoria Arbiter joins me now from Washington, excuse me, right here in New York. Hello.
Right here.
She's a CBSN royal contributor. Victoria, we were just chatting before we came on about this. Boy, people cannot stop talking about this. And I think an element of this is a lot of people look at this as sort of, you saw in Imtiaz's piece about the racist tinge to this. Has the palace addressed that at all?
Rina, this is so huge. I hardly even know where to begin. But with this picture here, I think we're just 600 days beyond a wedding that was filled with so much joy. And when we talk about race, that day represented the royal family being propelled into the 21st century. Suddenly, we had a biracial woman that had been widely accepted and reflected modern culture in the UK. Britain today is a multi-faith, multi-ethnic society. And suddenly we had that. So where did it all go wrong? Now, there's no question race has played an issue. This is an area where the royal family has never had to deal with criticism and a level of abuse, I think, that has been directed at Meghan such as it has. So they've gone the route they always go, where they've not said very much at all. They've tried through actions to show their support to Meghan. But behind the scenes, I think everyone has just been reeling.
How does the country, you know, when you look at the tabloids and there has been this racist tinge to it, what are folks back home saying about this?
I think they're hurt. I think they're looking at this picture now and just finding the whole thing so sad. How is it that in the 21st century a biracial woman could marry into the royal family, be subjected to so much, on some levels, unconscious racism, unconscious bias? Some has been a lot more overt, and suddenly she's felt that she now has to leave it all behind. Now, at the moment, they're saying they want to maintain an element of their royal life. It remains to be seen how that's going to be possible, to have a commercial life alongside a royal life. That's never been done before. But I think the royal family and the British public largely would like to keep Meghan and Harry in the fold.
Was the Queen surprised by all of this?
The Queen was not surprised that Harry and Meghan wanted a change. There needed to be a dramatic shake-up. The couple have been very vocal about their struggles, particularly towards the end of last year. They said that it had just been incredibly difficult. I think the royal family were hoping that this 6-week break in Canada was going to give them the break they needed to just regroup and find a fresh perspective coming forward. When they went to Canada House at the beginning of this week, they seemed really invigorated and confident and ready to go. The Queen was surprised by the timing of the announcement. She had asked Harry and Meghan not to go public just yet because they needed to sort out all the finer details, and the information that is presented on Harry and Meghan's website has not been agreed upon just yet. So unfortunately now it means negotiations are playing out on a very public platform.
What are the sticking points of negotiations where the palace isn't on the same page as Meghan and Harry?
Well, I think we can't just look at the palace. We have to look at public opinion. We have to look at governments, the host government. Now, Harry and Meghan have just said North America so far. We're betting that that's going to be Canada. It's a Commonwealth realm, a very popular Commonwealth realm. Ultimately, it comes down to money. So Harry and Meghan have said they'd like to maintain 95% of their funding from Prince Charles. The royal family are not going to want to cut them off financially, but a lot of the British public are saying you don't get to be non-royals or step back from your royal duties but still get all of your funding. The other issue is going to be security. Harry and Meghan are prime targets. They have to have security, but as non-working royals, that shouldn't be paid for by the taxpayer. Does Canada pick that cost up? Does Harry and Meghan pay for it? It's incredibly expensive. We have to protect them at the same time. So I think security and funding are the two major issues here.
And not insignificant issues at that. They talk about being financially independent. What would that mean?
Well, that's where things get complicated now. Financially independent, but with Prince Charles's backing, there is no question in my mind that Harry and Meghan can make a fortune on the speaker's circuit, commercial endorsements, commercial sponsorship. Companies are going to be lining up to be associated with Harry and Meghan. Where it becomes quite difficult is ensuring that any money they're paid is clean money. Let's say Meghan is a brand ambassador for a fashion house. Makes perfect sense. The fashion brands love her. She wears clothes so well. But then what if it transpires that some of those fashion items are being made in a sweatshop somewhere in the Far East? What happens when they find out that money has come through from unscrupulous sources? Harry and Meghan won't have the means to check all of that. And so that's where they're going to have to be careful moving forwards, because yes, I think they have a lot to offer, and I think companies are going to want to be associated with them, but they need to make sure that whatever companies they're associated with are above the book.
Has this ever been done before?
No,
Never.
not like this. There have been a lot of comparisons to the Constitution, the abdication crisis in 1936. Those comparisons don't really work. Edward VIII was driven out. It was determined that it was not constitutionally possible for him to maintain his role as king. He was forced out. Harry and Meghan are choosing to leave. So they have a lot more power in terms of the terms they want to leave on. But all of that has to be agreed upon by the Queen, the host government, the Metropolitan Police, Scotland Yard, the British government. There are a lot of people that have to be consulted here.
Victoria Arbiter, always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.